Hey everyone, hi. Let me fix that a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I know it's late. I had today off, but I had some things fall in my life, and I totally forgot today was improv day with my son. So my earlier stream that I planned on doing didn't really get done, but I want to do part of it anyways. There we go. So hi, hey Kentucky girl, hey Marcy with an IE. How is everyone? I hope you are well. So yeah, and I wanted to stream Sunday too, but I ended up Monday I was going to stream, but I ended up getting called into work. So it was a crazy night. So anyway, I'm here now. I'm also going to be posting tonight, definitely tonight, a GoFundMe regarding the upcoming court shit or whatever in Kansas. And I want to just point out, I wanted to just share with everyone, like, I don't want to take this so seriously, especially when the GoFundMe part, because it is kind of frivolous. I agree. Again, though, it's not the kind of frivol that I asked for, wanted, or really warranted. But either way, so I want to come up with like I don't know, kind of a more fun, interesting way to write it up, like kind of like I did the previous one. But the previous one wouldn't still apply, so that wouldn't work. But I think I have an idea now. Well, I know I do, but I wanted to just inform people though too. There's an added expense to this trip that I had no idea about. We need the transcripts from our last court appearance, and we have to pay for them. So I'm trying to find out if there's any way we can get like partial transcripts or something, maybe pay partially, because we don't really need them all. At least I don't need them all. And I don't know about that though yet, but the price we were quoted for all of them though was $1,100 fucking dollars. That is insane. That is crazy shit. So I don't want to have to pay that though. And it's something that like Vanna and I will definitely split, because we both need them. But I just wanted people to know that that's why that expense is on there. If anyone has any ideas as to how we can get these, without having to pay for them, I am all ears. Like, please inform me. But from what I understand, there really isn't any. So, but I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Please let me be wrong. Anyway, I just want to share that with people. Hi, Bobby and Gizmo. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Autistic Show. Hi, Steffi. It's okay. This isn't going to be a long stream. I just wanted to share something quick. So this is in regard to the like series or multi-part series here or whatever I'm streaming about Dre McCray and Von McCray and all this shit that went down there. I didn't realize though that this had transpired though since then. So let me show you what it is. I mean, and Molly found this. I saw this on Molly's page. So God bless her. Let me close out these messages here real quick. All right. There we go. Okay, so over on Molly GoLightly's Facebook page. Come on, why aren't you sharing? What the fuck? Okay. We will see this posted here. Okay. On January 23rd. And it says, a thank you to Feminine and Fierce 2.0 for bringing this issue back to life that I thought was buried a year ago. Miss Letitia Bias, hashtag Von McCray mother, was never a scammer or a con artist. The quote unquote fake police report against her was done online by a vicious and cruel person who used fake information and filed a fake police report, adding my name to it as if I was her co-conspirator. If Miss Letitia was ever a con artist or scam artist, then how would anyone with a modicum of common sense explain why people were receiving refunds from Miss Letitia? In fact, these vicious people were so cruel at the time that they were requesting donations from Cash App without having had even sent a donation. So in the end, it was actually Marvan's mother who was being scammed the whole time. Once more, I would like to say thank you to everyone that did generously help out Marvan's family with donations for travel and the legal expenses. Sadly, with all of the people that were calling up this lawyer, her fees went up. But I do know for sure that Marvan's family was ever so gracious and thankful that they got to see their son before he passed away. Now, this girl, Danielle, remember Danielle Leeton or whatever her name was, that one of the dono gals, actually had the nerve to comment on Feminine's video and put in her comments about the police report. So I reached out to Marvan's mother while I was live this afternoon, and sure enough, now you all can see the proof and the evidence. We proved that this police report was submitted with fake information. I didn't have anything to do with that. I don't doubt that it was, don't get me wrong. But that wasn't my issue with it anyways. I didn't even get that far for me. And the police never pursued anything legal against Marvan's mother. That is true. Or father. I think that's true. In fact, the police in Savannah told her it was only up to her if she wanted to give refunds. If you didn't know, I'll tell you this. Miss Letitia was so stressed out over what these people had caused her that she suffered from Bell's palsy. I had Bell's palsy in 2015, and it was absolute horrible shame on everybody. It was absolutely horrible. Shame on everybody in the drama community that participated in Drama McCray's group, and especially Katie's, that started this whole thing. Yes. It wasn't just those two, but yes. Yep. At least now we know who called CPS, Andrea McCray, and I think them to even become friends. Didn't they? Or maybe not. I don't know what she's saying there. I don't know. So anyways, here's what she shared. Here's what, remember Danielle Leeton there, one of the dono gals? She says, Molly GoLightly, none of this is true. We actually went to court. You're the same person that said I was using a deceased person's name for the report. You went to court. She's saying that she and Letitia went to court. Are the lies ever going to fucking stop? Like, for real. Anyway, so Molly then shared this. And then she shared a bit of her DM or text conversation with Letitia. So Molly says, hey, Miss Letitia, it's Molly. Do you remember when that girl Danielle made that fake police report claiming that she gave you $500 and it was a big setup? You went down to the police department and showed your ID because they were trying to set you up. And do you remember that night? And then you went back the next day and the police said that they didn't want to hear anything about it anymore. It was brought up yesterday. And all of a sudden, Danielle popped up and she's claiming that she went to court with you. Is that true? So Molly shares it. Letitia says, yeah, she's lying. I never went to court because there was no case. Yes, I remember her. She's lying. I knew it. I just wanted you to know. Daily, I'm fighting for justice for your family. Dre is very much cracking and losing it. Bless you. Thank you so much for everything. But if we went to court, you and Dre should have been there because y'all was included in the report, remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here we are. This was January, mind you. So this was like 2 months ago, okay? So here we are 2 months later, or 2 months ago, as recent as 2 months ago. And these bitches are still trying to fucking lie, Miss Letitia. They're still trying to lie and to save their ass or whatever. There's like none of them who came out and said that, oh, look at this police report. Oh, there's a summons for Letitia. She needs to go down there. And I talked to the fucking department there or whatever. And they said, no one else can call on this. No other YouTubers. It has to be Letitia. No one else. No one else can get the information. Just Letitia. Remember that? Remember all that? These motherfuckers know that there's no investigation. They know that there was definitely no fucking court. But yet they're still running with this story that there was. Why? Why in the fucking world, after this is all said and done, after Marvan has passed away, everyone should be moved on. Why the fuck are they still going on about this? Why the fuck are they still trying to ruin this woman's name? Who the fuck is benefiting from doing this? Who? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, Don't fucking sit here and talk like you prioritize accuracy or truth or honesty or transparency when you're still fucking doing this shit. I mean, hey man, I guess you have every right to maybe do the shit you're doing. I don't know, whatever. I'm not even trying to fucking argue that, but don't sit here and piss on our head and tell us it's raining. You know? Anyway, I'm going to check chat and I'm going to move on to a video that better also depicts some things that I find disturbing about all of this. Anyway. Hi, felon mommy of two. Hi, William. Hey, DC. Hey, Randa. DC member for 13 months. Yay! Thank you so much for your support. Oh, I didn't. There's more up here. Okay. Hi, Claudia. I don't know if I saw you. I don't remember. All right. So one other thing, though, that it's been bothering me with all of this whole progression, if you will, and the behavior, activity, things discussed or whatever since Marvon's passing. There's a lot of things that aren't settling right with me. And like, I mean, really, who the fuck am I? What does it matter? Sure, okay, I get that. But it's my channel, so that's why I'm talking about it. Okay, so I think a lot of people, when they lose a loved one, especially at a young age, so early in life, you know, where their loved one who's now gone is missing out on like the rest of life, you know. I feel like those who are mourning that person's loss, especially those who are closest to that person, that's what they care about. They care about how their loved one is not going to be here and witness these wonderful, amazing events of life, whether it be from their children, from you know, or just even the experience of having kids, you know, if they didn't live long enough to do that. And I feel like that they mourn the loss that their loved ones experience from having lost that person. Like, so like if in this case, I feel like a lot of people in Dre's position, they mourn the loss that their kids are facing, they're dealing with. They mourn their grief. They mourn the experiences that they're going to miss out on by Von no longer being here. And naturally they mourn Von's loss too. What I find so strange though is that what she's mourning, and like when she talks about like being physical with Marvon, like just touching him or whatever, you know, and I don't mean like anything nasty or what, you know what I mean. She's not even talking in a sense like, I just wish I could hold his face in my hands. I wish I could just touch, you know what I mean? It's always, I wish I could feel his touch because he always touching me. It's like she's making sure that everyone fucking knows that he didn't choose to leave or whatever. He didn't, there's no way he could have chosen this. There's no way, because of how much he loved her, how devoted, how attentive he was to her, or whatever. It doesn't seem like she thinks about like anyone else's loss, but Von's loss and what he's missing out from with her. I don't know. The whole thing just seems weird to me, but I'm going to play this video. So this video here, I think it's an edited video because it looks like it jumps around a little bit, but it's from the page. It's from Ultimate Deception. Okay, Ultimate Deception Unmasked. And this is a Dre McCray supporter live from March 13th of this year. So it's just a couple weeks old. And it's like I said, I think it's like an edited version. They just took bits of like the entire live and kind of smashed it down a little bit, which I so appreciate. But we're going to listen to most of this anyways. Let's start Yeah. Yeah, about there, I think.
I'm trying to do my makeup quickly so I can leave, but I want to look really good. It like all started with a text message. Oh my gosh. You know, and I'm just so glad that this is, I don't want to say that this is what fires me up. I'm just glad that nothing that anyone does on the internet has ever fired me up like this. Not in this way. What are you believing for, Zoe? What are you believing for so we can pray with you?
Oh, William, well, happy birthday to your grandmother, who it sounds like is no longer with us, which I'm sorry for your loss. But I think it's awesome that you're still, you know, just sharing her birthday with her. It's pretty cool.
No, what? Hey, that is non-good behavior.
Hmm.
Speed this up and all.
Hmm.
Oh, I can.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think of how to answer without like. I want my children to continue to have an endless supply of spiritual food. I need that. The only reason why my family is doing good as they are is because we are so heavily involved in our Bible, in Bible study and in spiritual activity. And I feel like that has really helped us. And I don't want that to end because circumstances are affecting our spirit, it's a possible effect to our spiritual food. And I want that. I want us to continue to rely on him. Because if we just focus all of our effort on how we can hold Jehovah's hand, like with Von, that's all I did. You know, like how can I hold Jehovah's hand and trust in him? What does that mean? How do I do that? Like, obviously I've been doing that, but like this was a whole different other ball game, you know? So me and my family taking care of our spiritual needs. That's what Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 says. Keep on then seeking first the kingdom and all these other things will be added to you. So I want me and my children to continue to do that. Seek first the kingdom. Mm-hmm. Jehovah's will be done. Yes, Mila. Who's here? Do you need something or do you need help? No, I got it. Okay. Yeah. I know. You're so right. See, and that's what Jehovah has really just helped us every step of the way. And I just, this sucks, man. This sucks. Because like what happened on the internet, these are people that don't know me. Like I don't care. They don't know me. I don't know them. Like I'm not going to be pressed over someone I don't know. This is different. I do. And it's. But what he did to take care of us whenever Von was in the hospital or in the care home.
Right.
I know he will do the same.
Move it up just a little bit.
It sucks because I feel naked.
I remember.
Literally, I feel naked. I don't like that feeling.
Eyebrow, which I started.
It's like I don't have my husband. He was he's my protector.
No, all right.
And not having him, I rely on other people, and maybe that's a problem. Because someone, who was it, Kathleen? I talked to Kathleen. She's completely aware of what I'm going through right now and what our family's going through. I wasn't going to tell her because I do love Kathleen. She's like a friend, but she also that's her job is to be that person for someone, you know? So like sometimes I don't approach.
So Kathleen, is this the therapist or whatever she's been making videos of working with or something? I don't know what you want to call it. I think it's a therapist. I don't know. Is she licensed accredited therapist or is it like a life coach kind of thing? I don't know.
Sure, talk to her because like I don't want to abuse her friendship, you know, like I don't want that. But once I text her because she needs help with something. Oh shoot, I'm supposed to go over there today actually. She needs help with something and I plan to help her. But she was also asking how are me and the children doing, and then I told her like we're going through kind of a hard time. Like me and the girls are confused, feeling lost, feeling naked. But Raza doesn't really know details, and we're going to spare him of that. But I do feel like he's picking up our energy because he's in a mood. So after I texted that to her, she called me like right away. She was like, do you want to talk about it? And I'm like, okay, yep, let's talk. I told her she cannot believe what we're going through. She's disappointed. She is helping us through this trial. She tells me that she's gone through some other things and Jehovah has helped her.
What is she going through though?
I need to hurry up, do my makeup, and then leave. There's a few places I want to go. Like literally today, I'm just going to be treating myself. I need to, or else I feel like I'm going to go crazy. Maybe later I'll take Bella to Ulta. For the children, we all enjoy Ulta. Even Rosa. Typically, we'll get bath bombs there. There's a cologne that I wear, you guys. Just letting you know. I avoided perfume and cologne and all that spray because of, I mean, it's just straight toxins, really. But in order to still feel Vaughn when I leave the house, I bought a man's cologne that reminds me of him. I actually bought it for Raza. He wanted it. It was, smells.
That seems a little weird to me. Okay, now I get it. If she had said I bought the cologne that Vaughn always wore, Vaughn's favorite cologne or whatever, yeah, I totally get that. But she's just said I bought a man's cologne that just reminded me or made me think of whatever. Like it's like this was in no way, shape, or form any kind of cologne he had ever worn before. It's just something that she could imagine that he would have worn maybe, or she would have wanted him to wear. So that's why she bought it. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like you're not doing that to remember the man because there's no memory there with the scent. It's like you're doing this to still manufacture the man or something. I don't know.
It was so good. It smells so good and it totally reminds me of Vaughn. I'm gonna go spray some of it right now. I need it. I want to feel him. I want to smell him. And I feel like that's another thing is like, I need my man's touch and his warmth and him telling me it's going to be okay. I want him to tell me like what's happening to us is just wrong and unfair, but that Jehovah's going to take care of it. And I feel like that's what's hard is knowing that I'm not going to hear those words anytime soon. Depending on what your definition of soon is, you know? How special. Yeah. Vaughn was raised by his grandma too.
Here we go.
Yeah. Vaughn's mom had Vaughn's biological mom.
Mind you, this was just a couple of weeks ago. Okay. Why are we still doing this? I mean, even her in the position she's in, and it's her family, it's her husband or whatever, it's his in-laws. I get it. So I understand her talking about this time in her life as she's going through it. I get that. I'm not saying she shouldn't be talking about that, but why are we still trying to drag his mother?
Had Vaughn very young as well. That's not why Vaughn was raised by his grandparents, though. That's not why. But
his dog sounds so mean, so mad.
Vaughn's grandma, it's actually his great grandma. He wasn't raised by his grandma. His grandma had died. His grandma and his grandpa died, actually. So it was his great grandma. It was Vaughn's biological mother's grandma who raised Vaughn. It wasn't even, you know, and they weren't always passed away. Like as of now they are, but yeah, it was Vaughn's great grandma, and she was such a special person. It really freaking hurt my heart to know that she passed away. Like, obviously, I would have never expected the family to tell me, you know, of course. But
why's that? Maybe because that's the example you set for them already. I almost spit my drink out when I heard her say that. I'm like, is she saying that? Like, of course, I wouldn't expect them to tell me. Like, the nerve of them. Like, what?
Made me feel so sad for her because the conversations that we have had were heartbreaking, and we kept in contact whenever. Even after Vaughn passed away, we still continued to talk. I hadn't spoken to her in like a month and a half or so. Like it was really, you know, like for me trying to, but yeah, she loved Vaughn with all her heart. And I wish so badly that me and the children could have seen her before she passed away. I wish we could have released some of Vaughn's ashes together. I think that would have been so healing.
You could have, right? I mean, couldn't she have? I mean, I don't know the circumstances around his great grandmother's passing. I admit, but I mean, if they were having conversations and they were talking even right after Vaughn passed away, well, then all she really had to do was arrange to obtain the ashes, you know, in a timely manner, you know, and arrange to experience that moment with his great grandmother. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was sick or something and it would have been too difficult, but she doesn't say that though. You know, she doesn't mention that as a reason. So I kind of feel like maybe that's not the reason. Maybe the reason is she just didn't want to go out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, his great grandma passed? I know. That was his mom. That was the person who raised him. That's the person who was a mother to him. Because you can have a child. It doesn't, you can give birth, and it doesn't make you, doesn't say much, you know. It's who is there for you.
I feel like she was starting to say something there, but she caught herself because she realized it came back to bite her in the ass.
And who will go to war for you, and who wants to raise you in love. It's about who wants to make you feel safe. It's about the person that wants to be there for the first day of school. It's about the person that wants to be there during every other single day of school.
Are her kids homeschooled? I could swear that that's what the understanding was. I don't know.
Because I can tell you what, the girls' bio dad, when they were in school, sometimes he would go to the first day of school. Oh, for sure. It's a big thing, but did he help with homework? Did he pick them up from school? Did he get them ready? Did he take them shopping? None of that happened. So it really is about the little moments, not the big ones. And that's what Von's great grandma did. She stayed alive for his whole life. She wanted to be with him. Oh yeah. And I told her, like, when I could tell Von was going to pass, everything flipped. And I always prayed that if the time came, and I always did this, like when Von was first flown to Tucson, this is exactly what I was praying for. Like, if at all, Von needs to go. Like, I need to know clearly. Like, I'm not about to pull no plug if I'm not feeling like that's the right direction to go. If I'm not feeling that is the way that Jehovah's answering my prayers. That's a big freaking deal. That's a big deal.
Oh, really?
And if he would have...
Sorry, I'm going to go over here to chat. Renelle says, she is such a liar because she said she didn't even tell his great-grandmother when he passed because she didn't trust her to tell her. You know, now that you say that, I think I remember that. I think I remember you saying that, yeah. Or not you saying, I mean, her saying something like, it's one of the reasons why she didn't want the news to get out or something like that, because she didn't, no, that, and she, I guess the grandmother was expected to pass. And that's why she didn't want the news to get out at that time, because she didn't want to like break the woman's heart or some shit. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I remember her saying that she didn't want her to know. His mother was a young teenager at that. Her own mother passed, but that has nothing to do with why Von stayed with his great-grandmother. I simply cannot stand this woman. Yep, I agree. She homeschools. Yeah, she homeschools them. That's right. That. So she's over here bitching and pointing out how like a real person is there for the little moments, you know, taking them shopping and going to school, and yada yada. Well, she's not even taking her kids to school. You know, I mean, listen, man, I got nothing against homeschooling. I really don't. I got something against people though who aren't really properly schooled themselves though doing homeschooling. That's what I have an issue with, because I feel like if you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for your kid. Don't we all like want the absolute best for our children, including education, right? And if we know that we can't fucking do the education, then what are we doing for them? That's what I have an issue with. And then some people are just like, oh, well, when they get to that age, whatever, I'll cover it then or whatever. No, you should make sure that you know this shit now, you know? I mean, if you're going to teach them the first few years of their lives or their school years or whatever, I get that, whatever. But if we're talking like into junior high and high school, shit actually gets kind of hard. Yeah, no, you need to know how to teach, and you need to know the material. I think that's my opinion, whatever. I think that some parents might have to pass some sort of GED exam for teaching homeschooling kids at a specific age, maybe. My opinion, whatever. The teacher knew from the first time she met Dre it wouldn't work out well, and she was absolutely right. Correct. I agree. I absolutely agree. She's explaining his death period. Yeah, exactly. She's still talking. One of her other recent videos, she's talking about how the way when Von passed, the way he passed was the most beautiful thing, most beautiful passing in the world. Like, okay, Like you're trying to romanticize like his having died after being in a coma for like a year or nearly a year or something, after him trying to take his own life while you were in the house. You know, it's just, this isn't a romantic story. This isn't a romantic ending. It just feels wrong trying to make it one, you know? I mean, it can be a heartfelt one or whatever, but this isn't like a Romeo and Juliet story. You know what I mean? Oh, the way they teach math in elementary school, my God, I can't do it. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know, a little bit of grandiose sense of self here or something with thinking I can do like third grade math. You're probably right.
Have died in the first week because the plug was pulled, then I know it would have been because of the hospital. They were giving him the highest amount of medication that was dangerous for him. He was allergic and they were giving it to him. I was so pissed. Like, they were saying his brain injury is so bad, we cannot take him off of a paralytic or sedation because his body jerks are so bad. And it was scary. They were bad. I just did not feel like it was coming from him. And I'm so glad because a week later found out, no, it's not coming from him. He is having a reaction to them giving him medication that is on his chart. It says allergic to Keppra, and they were giving him the highest dosage. The amount of advocating I had to do was not normal. Like, I couldn't even rest and relax and just be by Von's side. It was always, who do I have to, you know, like, convince to give on decent healthcare? Just a mess. But you want to know who was on my side during the entire time Von was in the hospital and all these other things? His great grandma. She got to speak with him often. And then when I knew he was going to pass away, I told her, Von has switched. How did I say it? What was it? Something about just Von is changing. Like, Von is showing us the route he wants to go or something like that. And so she talked to him and she was like, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep fighting. Like, she's telling him all these things. But like, when they got off the phone, I told him that it's okay to let go, that he doesn't need to keep fighting, that I'll see him again. And Jehovah's going to take care of me and the children. And everything will be okay. And whenever he falls asleep, it'll be like he'll wake up in paradise as if he wasn't even asleep. He won't know how long he was not alive for. But I'm so glad that he got to hear the woman who raised him, her voice, before he really let go.
Why? Why are we doing this? Like, seriously. I mean, the kind of fucking hate you gotta feel. This is months now after he has passed away. Like, it's been a hot minute now. And she's up here as of 2 weeks ago doing this live stream, just trying all she can to hurt this woman. I mean, you know, this isn't normal to me. I'm sorry, it's not. I'm just going to come out and say it. And I don't like to say this shit because really, I don't think anything should be considered normal, and anything abnormal is like a bad or nefarious or weird thing. Because like sometimes you need the abnormal, but this is not a good kind of abnormal. This is like a red flag kind of abnormal, in my opinion, because if you were really truly caring and thinking about your loved one and having lost your loved one and thinking about what they would want, okay, and worrying about what they would want and trying to honor them, this is one of the last fucking things you would do. Even if you really truly disliked this woman, dragging his mother, no matter how much you may dislike her, or you may even feel warranted for disliking her, dragging her like this would be the last thing you'd want to do. It would feel wrong. It would just feel fucking wrong, in my opinion.
And he died 2 days later. He died 2 days later. Less than 2 days. Not even a full 2 days. If I'm not mistaken. No, it was 2 days. He passed away on a Sunday morning. She was the one who instilled his values. 100%, Kayla. 100%. He was who he was because of his grandparents. As a nurse, that makes me so sad. I would have caught that in a heartbeat. Oh, it's not like they weren't aware. They just felt that, well, what is his allergies? I mean, what's the pro and the con? If we don't give him Keppra, then he could have seizures. If we do give him Keppra, he's allergic. So they decided.
I wonder though, how did they know that he was allergic? Like, what was the determining factor? Was it her just telling them this? Because, and if he was allergic, the allergy had to have been incredibly mild, and the need for the medication would have had to have been pretty great, I think, for them to just go ahead and give him the medication. But I don't know. I'd be reluctant to think anything other than they were just told he was allergic. But
The pros was better than the cons. However, they did not tell me that is what he was on. Every day I showed up to the hospital, there was not a single day, not one, not a 24-hour period that I was not by his side. They could have told me at any time.
that's not true. She herself said that. There was a week or something like that, or was it a day? I forget what it was. It was a small time frame or whatever. It was when the hospital went on lockdown or some shit like that, or something. I forget what it was. She was in fear for her safety, though, she said. So she was staying in an RV or something somewhere, like no one knew where she was. I want to say it was for a week, though. I really do. So, I mean, which is it?
But it wasn't until the doctor pulled me aside and put me in the room and explained to me that there's no hope for Vaughn. If I'm not mistaken, I recorded that. I recorded so much, but I think I did record that. There's so much I have recorded. I have a recording of Vaughn's great grandma talking about she had to give money to Vaughn's bio mom just for her to take him places.
Yes.
One time it was the zoo. She knew she was taking the children to the zoo, and the great grandma said, "You could take your son, please." And she said, "Okay, but I need you to pay for it."
See, that just sounds like the most manipulative fucking story ever. Because, like, I have no doubt that there is some truth to this. Like, I have no doubt that the great grandmother had custody of Marvin at the time, and I have no doubt that Letitia probably would have loved to have done more things and had her son more often, but she had to first go through her great grandmother. And I have no doubt that Letitia had plans to take the kids that were in her custody or whatever to the zoo that day, and the grandmother, I have no doubt, probably said, "We know you could take your son too. Like, how dare you not think of to do this already? Possibly because maybe I have custody of him, and I'm, kind of took that from you." And then I have no doubt that Letitia said, "I would love to. Yes, please let me take him, but I don't have enough money because I didn't, I just don't have enough money." I mean, that's a hard thing to admit. I mean, I think a lot of people in Letitia's position there would not have wanted to admit that to their grandmother. You only do that if you really and truly just want to be able to take your son and all your kids to the fucking zoo. You lower your pride or whatever. You fucking humble yourself to ask, to put yourself in a position to feel what you're going to feel by having to ask. You do that because you want the outcome of taking all the kids to the zoo. That's what's important to you.
And she had to give her money in order for her to take her own son because she wouldn't have taken him. She took all the other children to the zoo. It broke my freaking heart. Broke my freaking heart. The amount of stories that great grandma has told me, it's like, it makes me feel so sad for Vaughn. It's like, no wonder he had PTSD from his childhood. No wonder. I can't imagine the pain and the hurt. It reminds me of my older sister. One time, my mom got her all dressed up, ready to go, because her bio dad was going to come and pick her up. Put her in a nice little dress, and she stood by the front door waiting, and she ended up never coming. or he ended up never coming. And we can say, you were there all the time. Makes you appreciate that person so much more. You gave him everything he could have wanted, which is why he clung to you and loved you so much. You gave him all the love he needed.
How did he cling to her so much? I don't want to be an asshole here. I really don't. Because I don't blame her for what he chose to do. I don't. But I think it takes a lot of nerve to sit here and say that it was his time spent with his mother or whatever that gave him PTSD when he. That's not what it looks like.
Yeah. There was so much love I needed, and he fulfilled that in every way. I was hurt too. I know that I was Von's world. Like,
see, here we
that
go
goes
with
without
shit
saying.
again.
That's not something I even need to tell you guys, but I'm not saying it because you guys don't know. I'm saying it because I appreciate it.
There's so many of her lives recently, or at least especially since his passing, where you hear this. It's never like oh God, I miss him. I give anything just to see his face, just to hear his voice, just to hold his hand, just to walk with him down the street, and whatever. You don't hear any of that. You hear about how much, like, you get the impression that it must be Vaughn who's missing her, and when he's the one who's passed away.
Like, to be loved so much by someone.
Mommy,
Yes, son?
is it okay if the hand sanitizer is in my new backpack I made?
You made a backpack?
Yeah. It's like a strawberry backpack. It tells our names.
Yeah. Wait. I don't know about the hand sanitizer going in there. I want to keep it in the truck so that when we're out.
Yeah. That's cute.
But also,
Oh,
can you check to see any classes, please? We saw how much love he had for you in all the videos and lives. Yes. There isn't any doubt how much love you each have for one another. What a special thing, you know? Like, is it any wonder why I want to wait until he's resurrected to be with him again? Like, you know, what an honor and a privilege it was to serve him and to be there for him. I'm grateful for the opportunity because think about that. Vaughn was in his most vulnerable state in his whole entire life. And yet still people took advantage of him. But anytime I was there, he felt loved, he felt cared for. He continued to push through despite all the sad and tragic things. Bro, the way his body deteriorated in that hospital from what?
How was he pushing? I don't understand this. The way he pushed through, the way he persevered in the face of, I don't know, the impossible or something. Like, it's this whole romanticizing of the situation of his state, of the last year of his life, of trying to make it sound like some sort of heroic obstacle, some journey or something that these two soulmates had to overcome or some shit. This is how it reads to me when it's anything but. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, but it's not like a tragedy of like love's lost or something, because love was there. You kind of treated it like shit, but I mean, it was there and it wasn't going anywhere. It didn't want to go anywhere until it did. But it wasn't something that took it from you. It was kind of love taking itself from you in a sense. I don't blame her for it. Don't get me wrong, but that, like it or not, that's what happened. But that's not the reality that it sounds like some people want to adopt, I guess. I don't know.
They did to him? Bad. What they did to him. I wish I had like a secret camera. But they were afraid I would have one too. So they told me I'm not allowed to take my phone in there anymore. So I wasn't allowed to go visit Vaughn with a phone. So I didn't have my main phone on. Oh, but honey, you're not about to restrict me. Oh, no. So I made sure I had a phone still.
So then she had a camera. So why is she saying I wish if I had a camera? She had a camera. She just said this is what happens when you make shit up as you go. I think.
And I would have it tucked away somewhere, whether in my bra or somewhere, because they weren't about to pull that effery without me being able to prove what they were doing. Dude, one time I
why are you wishing that you were able to prove what they were doing?
went into the hospital and they left his window open, you know, because he was pooping all the time. He had like 5 bowel movements in that day, which I am convinced he had way more. They just didn't change him as often. But 5 bowel movements.
I'm just going to ask this. How is this a preservation of Von's dignity in this discussion here? How is the image that his own wife is painting in everyone's head here preserving his dignity? How is it honoring this man's dignity? Because that's one of the arguments that someone has kept saying, to trying to rob this man of his dignity. What about Von's dignity? Let's give him his dignity. Whatever the hell they meant by that, I don't know. I still question that. I still haven't gotten an answer. But I'm wondering, is this the dignity that they were talking about? Is this it? Really? Mm-hmm.
In a day, and when they were changing him, they opened up the window to get some cool air, and they just left it. So by the time I got there were so many bugs in the room, flying around his mouth because he left his mouth open.
Dignity.
Flying around the room. The fact that I had to have multiple discussions about leaving that damn window open.
Oh, so the problem was that you had to keep having all these discussions about it, not the fact that it was happening, or the fact that your husband's dignity was being taken from him by the hospital by doing these things. No, the problem was you had to keep talking to them about it. Okay.
Bro, I went through hell, and so did Von. And I'm just so glad we were together, because like he gave me strength to continue, and I know I did the same for him.
You weren't together though. You weren't. I mean, I don't know how else to put this. Like, if I was in her shoes and I was taking care of my man in that situation, I wouldn't think we were together, because he checked out on me. That's what I would be thinking. I would be pissed. I'm sorry. I would be. I would probably still be pissed years later after the fact, whatever. Like, because I talk about this as I still to this day, I'm putting myself in her shoes as I talk about this. And I still get my first strong emotion that doesn't go anywhere is anger. I would be angry. I would be very angry. So I don't know.
Horrible. Yeah. We were there through everything, and we know what happened and how everything transpired. Front and center through all of this. That's inhumane, girl. The things that I can tell you. It's disgusting.
Why though? I mean, think if these disgusting, inhumane, horrible things were happening, why are people just hearing about this now? Why wasn't anything done when he was still alive? Why wasn't the problem revealed when it could have been rectified?
It's disgusting what they did to him. And I feel like that wouldn't even matter, because people aren't even concerned about that. They just want to villainize me. It's like,
maybe people could have been concerned had they known about it at the time, but you're telling people about it now, long after the fact, and you're doing it for like some sort of purpose to drag everyone and anyone who had any kind of intimate knowledge or view of you and Von during this time, including his own family and the hospital staff.
Von needs. Let me just stop. Taraz, are you getting in the basket?
No.
Okay. What's inhumane also is like there were times that he would need to go into surgery for something, and it was like a surgery that you didn't need to be put to sleep for, but typically you numb the area. They weren't going to numb him. I had to like talk to a couple different doctors just to convince them to give him
Didn't she say that he was on a paralytic or I don't know. Does that numb you? I know like it prevents you from moving. Actually, I don't think it does. I don't think they all just numb you. Maybe some do. But I'm pretty sure some actually don't numb you.
Some type of injection. Was it a lidocaine injection, I believe? But also some medicine through his IV. Like the fights to even go through that. It's like
2 days. Thank you enough.
He's someone who still feels pain. Like he would cry and I would have to show them, look, he's crying. This is because he feels pain. He wasn't crying before you did that. Like I would show them. And that broke my heart so bad because Von couldn't speak, but he did cry. And the times that he cried was like how anyone can still push that aside as if, oh, it's just what do you call it? A reflex.
I'm looking at chat here. A hospital room with the window open. Some actually, the older ones still have windows open, but they'll often, if they're not like on the first floor or something, then they'll have like the metal grate or bars or something on the outside. Usually, like I mean, they're not like hotels or whatever. Like they're trying to prevent people from jumping out then. But I think that it's a hospital, so they kind of have to. But yeah, some of them, like the older ones that don't have very good air movement or something, airflow in it, will have windows that still open. Like we have where I live, there's been 3 hospitals here. One of them kind of converted to like a cancer treatment center, and the other 2 remained hospitals. But they only just recently, like a year ago, maybe a little less, they closed because the city was building just a one single hospital and putting everything there. But one of the older hospitals, actually, because I've been in it a few times, it had windows that opened, but yet there was something on the outside of it, so you couldn't like go just throwing shit out the window or whatever. Creators should not talk about other creators explaining someone's death when they themselves are explaining about his death. So much more of the story they're not seeing. Here's the thing, okay? I think that it's really only exploitation when you just keep repeating the same things over and over and over again, and or you start lying to make shit up on it to get people's attention. Then it's an exploitation, I think. Other than that, if it's an ongoing situation that's still presenting, that's still, or still has updates now and then or whatever, and people still talk about it, or there's you're right in the thick of it, you're right in the middle of it, time-wise speaking, then I don't think it's exploitation. I think that people just get pissed off, and that's like an insult or some sort of accusation they like to hurl. I mean, I've accused people of exploiting things before too in the past, but like I said, in my opinion, it's when you just say the same shit over and over and over again, even when other people just aren't really talking about it anymore, or you start making shit up. So. But I mean, if you're just talking about a situation as it unfolds, or you're speaking on behalf of or in support of those involved in the situation, and you do this for over and over and over again, how is that exploitation? Like this one. Okay, so I saw a video recently. Charlotte on the web over on Rumble had done, I think it was today's live stream. She was commentating on a video involving the drama community. So this channel did this like 10-minute long video of like pretty much pointing out all the things that she deems wrong with the drama community, which I have to say, if you're making a video bitching about the drama in the drama community, I feel like you should know that you're kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face, I think is the saying, because you're a self-proclaimed drama channel in the drama community talking about drama, but then you're bitching about those in the community being dramatic, basically. That doesn't seem to make sense. But but one of the things though that this creator had pointed out, like she was dragging other people for almost like, I guess allegedly like pandering to the viewers, like choosing their content based on things that are likely to get them views. And she pointed out how she herself doesn't do this because the things that she talks about, nobody even fucking cares to watch, you know? And I get that. I mean, that's an excellent reason to have your channel. And I'm not judging that. You do you. But if you're here to make money, that's an excellent reason to have your channel too. And you do you. You can still make money and still make efforts to make money without being exploitative. You know, you can prioritize things, certain things to a certain degree and not be exploitative. And you can do this more so than some other channels and still not be exploitative. So, I mean, I think, so basically, I guess this is my long ass way of saying, I agree with you. I don't know. A lot of people make this accusation against people, and it's some sort of tactic or strong arming tool or whatever to try to get the other people to shut up because they don't like what they're saying, in my opinion. There was a really long way, though, for me to say I agree with you. I'm sorry.
No, have you broke your fast?
No.
Okay, do that.
Okay, this is,
Do we have strawberries?
that part there is what
We have
originally caught my attention on this. Oh, wait, I can't do that. Shoot. Wait, we'll go there. English, okay.
Talk to a couple different doctors just to convince them to give him some type of injection. Was it a lidocaine injection, I believe? But also some medicine through his IV. Like the fights to even go through that, it's like he's someone who still feels pain. Like he would cry and I would have to show them, look, he's crying. This is because he feels pain. He wasn't crying before you did that. Like I would show them. And that broke my heart so bad because Von couldn't speak, but he did cry. And the times that he cried was like how anyone can still push that aside as if, oh, it's just a, what do you call it? A reflex. No, have you broke your fast?
No.
Okay, do that. Do we have strawberries? We have apples.
That's no strawberries.
Oh, we do? Did I buy some recently? Because I thought we ate most of it.
We bought some recently.
Okay. As a nurse, I've seen it with my own eyes what nurses who don't care can do. It's horrible. I was trying to give my best.
Why would the kid be fasting? I don't understand that. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, it's something that some religions do or whatever. I'm not questioning that. I whatever. But why would you make your kid do it? Because they just, I don't know. I feel like kids should be the one group of people who should be excused from all things fasting when it comes to things like religion. Especially kids that are still very much so growing, you know?
Best to clean up their literal and non-literal messes when I came into work. No longer work in the hospital. The politics of people who are in it for the money have ruined healthcare. 100%. And the best people that I would meet typically were nurses because they had nothing. A lot of the nurses, all they wanted to do was take care of their patients, you know, in the best way, but they have to follow the direction and advice of the doctors. I have so many recordings of the nurses being like, I don't know why the doctor is saying this because I see this. And it's like, thank you. Thank you. Yes. If there was anyone that man needed protection from, it was the hospitals he was in. Definitely not you. Shaking my head, girl. What? This is exactly why I stepped back from the nursing field. I love nursing. I have my RN license, but I'm literally working in a warehouse now because the limitations and the things they allow other nurses to do to patients is disgusting. I love my job when it was do everything and help the patient to be comfortable and healthy. But now it's do everything to keep the cooperation safe from the patient's family finding out about.
I get being frustrated or whatever with like the limitations, and especially as a nurse, because I feel like nurses are definitely educated and smart enough to know a lot of things, but though maybe not as much as a doctor. Some of them I think do. So I think it's a very frustrating position to be a nurse because I don't know. I don't want to say that there's Dunning-Kruger or whatever because they know enough to know that they don't know enough, but I think that it has to be a very frustrating job though, because I think it must be difficult to know when you're right and when you're not right. And when you're right, you want to act on it. And When you're right, that means that the doctor's wrong, and that's fucked up. So it has to be very frustrating. I get that, but I can't imagine just giving up the profession altogether just because you're frustrated like that. I mean, especially like you could do like there's all different kinds of nursing jobs too. You could do.
Wow.
Work in a warehouse.
It's
Who
nice
wants
to know
do
we have
that?
several RNs here. That's so awesome. And it just makes me feel so bad too. Like, you got into it for the right reasons. You spent all that time, years of studying just to go into the field and not be able to help because of all those things. It's disgusting. Okay, I don't know if anyone watches Netflix. I'll watch Resident. Oh my gosh. I think I've seen some of it. Resident, isn't that the very first episode? He's like shaking. I ended up stop watching any hospital shows. I feel like watching hospital shows just normalizes practices for me, and I had to stop. And then it was like, all I'm thinking is, dude, this person doesn't need this. All they need to do is change what they eat. You know, like there's so many things that I feel like when I was watching those shows, all I would think is, I don't want this to be my normal.
If she really believed that all you had to do was change what you eat, then why was she shoving so much like medicine or whatever down her husband's throat for so long? If all he needed to do was just change what he ate. And he did that too, didn't he? Like they both did. But yet they still had ailments.
I want to not feel like this is the way things should be. And I'm not talking about like the hypocrisy in the shows, but just even like women giving birth in a hospital. Like, now what I know now, that's terrifying to me. I don't want to see that. It scares me. Like, oh, okay. So many facilities let him down. Oh yeah. The one facility that I felt like they did an excellent job was the place right after the VA hospital. Because the place after the VA hospital, oh my gosh, they were the ones who had went on lockdown because of what was happening. Like they had to shut the whole hospital like down. You could not get in there anymore. Like you had to push the little thing to talk to someone and be able to get in. And that's not how it was before. This was back in 2001, but my grandma went to the hospital for pain and never made it out alive. I've heard several of those instances. My grandma.
I can't stand stories like that. The thing that was probably causing her the pain had probably grown or gotten to a point where not much more could be done. That's likely why it had that outcome. Don't get me wrong, hospitals and medical people, they do make mistakes. I get that. In fact, there's a term, ironically enough, called medical misadventure. Yeah. Anyway, so I get that. I get that they do happen, but just telling this story, this anecdote rather, without any information to support what it is, the message you're trying to say, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to try to put that message out there, you need to put something out there that supports your message and also kind of individualizes it so that people don't think that, oh, this is going to happen to everyone who goes to a hospital. No, you can sit there and think that there's a small chance it could, but it's not likely to, that's one thing. But just when you tell a story like this, when an anecdotal story like this, with nothing to corroborate and nothing to back it up, nothing to explain it or whatever, it's like you're trying to scare everyone into doing something that's not that scary. Okay, but this is practically over, right? Yeah, it's like 10 seconds on. So yeah, this was one. There's a couple other videos I wanted to go over, but this is the first one. It was one I want to do tonight, and it's 2 a.m. So I am going to wrap this up. I did not want to go too late tonight, so show the videos, Dre. Yeah, thank you, DC. The words coming out of her mouth are absolutely mind-blowing. She acts like he was stricken with an illness And they were in the best part of their life. She is so unaware. That's the thing. If you didn't know what happened, you would listen to her talk about this, and it would be pulling on your heartstrings like Romeo and Juliet, like, you know, a lifetime of love that almost was, you know, and like they were both robbed of this. And don't get me wrong, she should feel robbed of it. Like I said, if I were in her shoes, I'd be mad as fuck at my man. Like I'd probably be mad the rest of my life or damn near close to it. So I'm not saying that she wasn't robbed, but she's trying to like just, she's romancing this. She's trying to make it sound like the real person who's missing out here is him. And not because like he's missing out with his kids or whatever, but because he's missing out of her. And that and that when she talks about what she misses about their time together or whatever, how he was always touching her, even when they were out in public. He was so good to her. He was so gentle. He loved me so much. He was always showing me he loved me. Like when she's going on and she's talking about it like that, it's like she's explaining how the use that he was to her almost, and how she's not without that, rather than thinking all the things that he's missing out on, like with the kids, with life, with, you know, seeing that even his stepdaughters grow up and get married, or you know, or any of his kids have grandkids, you know. Like she's not thinking of that. She's not even talking about it. Like that would be those would be the things that would be on my mind constantly. Every time one of my kids did something, my first thought would be, oh my God, I wish that their father was here to see it. You know, for the father and for my kids. And not for 1 second would I be sitting here thinking, you know, oh my God, I wish their father was here so, you know, he could be gentle with me. It just, like I said, I don't think that, I mean, I think that she made mistakes, whatever, in a marriage. We all do. I'm not judging her for it. I don't care, whatever. But I'm not trying to say that she was perfect or whatever. She wasn't. No one was. But like, I don't think that she had any ill intent. Like, I don't think that her actions came with the intent of something bad or detrimental happening to her with or from her husband or whatever. I don't think she had any intent for anything that did happen. I don't think that at all. But since that day, since the day he ended up in the coma, from then on, I do question her intent on a lot of things. You know, it's like she's trying to make everyone else pay or something for shit that she can't face in herself. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, anyone's going to feel guilt in her shoes, whether it's justified or not, whether it's expected or whatever or not, because that's human nature to always think, oh my God, was it me? Is there something I could have done? You know, what if I did things differently? If only I did things different. That's normal. And I don't see any evidence of that. And I wonder why that is. I don't know. Anyway, but I do want to say, though, that seeing the dono gal there lying still and making up more lies as she goes regarding Letitia, and hearing some people too even still fucking push this story of people scamming and everything else, and there was a summons or whatever. Although I don't know, I think that those videos there on that one chick's channel with the summons or whatever, they're all gone last I checked. I wonder why that is. Anyway, it'd be maybe a public retraction for them, you know, stating that they're gone for a reason would be nice. But I mean, they would be admitting that someone was wrong, though, right? Can't have that. I can't imagine though worrying more about being wrong or people seeing that, knowing I was wrong. Worrying about that more than worrying about what I was doing to this mother. She was going through the most most nightmarish thing any mother could think of. I don't know. I'd rather people think I was wrong than anything else, than thinking that I was intentionally trying to harm this woman. That's what would bother me. But anyway. Okay. Hi, Mrs. H. Hey, Elizabeth. This woman is bad shape. She should get some counseling. Yeah. I do agree that she should. Absolutely. Like from a real counselor. I don't know what it is she's seeing. I kind of question if it's some sort of sketchy shit, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, so I can't really comment on it. But yeah. And I think that she deserves to heal from this and to move on with life and enjoy the rest of her life and being a mother to her kids and all that. And she has every right to, and she should. But the fact that she's still trying to drag his mother all this time later tells me that that's not what she wants to do. And that's sad. So, hi, RTD. Hey, Randa. Did I read that wrong? Oh, did I say Renelle said that earlier? Okay, I think I did. Oh, Renelle, thank you too for the 2 days. So when I was talking earlier, how after she had said this, she was there with Vaughn every single day. She never missed a day. And I was saying, well, no, that's not what she said before. Before she was saying how she missed a week or something or a day. Renelle had corrected me, and I guess that she said she missed 2 days. So. Yeah. But okay, all right. I'm gonna wrap this up now. I felt bad though because I've been talking. I know last time I streamed, I said, "Oh, this is gonna be a part series," and it is. I'm still like, invested in it and interested in it. But I also said I was gonna stream yesterday, and I just couldn't do it. Or Monday. Today's actually technically Wednesday, but so I wanted to put something out tonight, and I'm gonna try and put something out tomorrow, but it may not be until late again, like midnight my time, because I have to work tomorrow night. But we'll see. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Thanks for being here. Oh, and I'm definitely right as I end the stream, I'm going to do up that GoFundMe, so that's going to be up momentarily. So, again, this is a real deal. I mean, I really have to go to Kansas again, and now we're told to set aside 3 days for this, which I had already booked my airfare, which come to find out, it was actually $150 cheaper for me to fly home the following day, that I had intended to. So I'm like, screw it. I'll just stay one more night in like a $50 night a room or $60 night a room hotel or whatever, and save like $100 or whatever. And it's a good thing I did that, because then I was told that, no, put aside 3 days. So I was like, oh, Jesus. Funnily enough, I already did that. So this is real. This is happening. I didn't ask for it. I don't want it to happen. I would love for it to not to happen. So this is not me looking to have some fun here or anything. So if you want to donate, if you can donate, if it's something you feel like you want to support, then awesome. If not, awesome. I get it. I totally get it. So yeah, that's all. All right, guys. I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow sometime. Thanks for being here. Bye.